But yeah, now I just detailed her yesterday. She's all bright and shiny with that beautiful, beautiful devilish smile. Gotta love it. Cool. Alright, let's get on the way and deal with this bloody traffic. Now I can't go out that way, otherwise I'll have to turn left, and I need to turn right. We're in a bit of a brinky wink. Hello, you beautiful, wonderful people of YouTube. My name is Boise, and I have some awesome riding material for you guys. The people who love motorcycles and whatnot, let me introduce you to my 2020 V4 Street Fighter S. Now, this is a beautiful machine that I have procured for myself and have had the wonderful pleasure of spending some quality time with over the last year. Now I picked this beautiful baby up brand new in August of 2020. I was lucky enough to get an allocation, and even luckier to be the first one to get it in Western Australia. Now I was 5th in the queue, but as luck would have it, the 4 people above me, well technically 3 people above me who were ahead of me with the pre-orders, they backed out. So it then bounced back to position number 3 and position number 4 and position number 5. So lucky me, I was position number 5 on the queue. So once the first 3 backed out, it went to me and another fella. Now luckily for me at the time, I was in the city of Perth and was lucky enough at the time to take delivery of my V4S Street Fighter on the launch day. Launch day? Well, there was a launch party, and I was the first one to ride away with it. It was a grand spectacle. It was awesome taking delivery of this bike, because I mean, look at it. As anyone who knows anything about Ducati, they know that Ducati do have a tendency to make beautiful looking bikes. Now I had always had a love for the Street Fighter since I was small, and well, when I became of age to get my riding license or driver's license, they had stopped production of the Street Fighter, the old ones, which was slightly depressing, but nonetheless I eventually got my first bike, which was a Hyson 250, the full fairing one, and boy, that thing was a bloody boat, but it was good to learn on. Then I proceeded to upgrade to a CBR 500. That was a fun bike, middle class bike, but I used that bike until I could get my open class license. Here in Australia, you have 2 classes of licenses for your bike. You have your lower class, and then you have your open class. Your open class allows you to ride any bike at any power to weight ratio, anywhere, anytime, any state. So I had my 2 little bikes, and at the time the R6 was not classified as well a lower class bike or light bike because of the power to weight ratio of it. You had to have an open class license to ride it. So I had the CBR 500 until then, and then I proceeded to upgrade because I found a really good deal on a R6, a Yamaha R6, a 2010. And I enjoyed riding that for about a year. But then since I had my open class, I eventually craved bigger and better things. As you do. So, even though the R6 was a track weapon, and I enjoyed it, and it was good for commuting around town and the city, very good on fuel, I then eventually sought out another bike. And the thing that caught my eye at the time were the Panigales. And, well, the recent launch of the 1299. So, being a dream bike of mine, obviously, just out of high school, going into university, I was a broke student. And working a part-time job, I couldn't afford a 1299 Panigale. So I was cruising around the bike sales over here in Western Australia, and I found myself a beautiful pearl white 899 Panigale, and I picked it up for a pretty good price because there weren't too many allocations of the pearl white in, well, Australia as a whole. There were about 10 from the last time I checked when I had it, and, well, I had my dream bike at the time. Then unfortunately my 899 got crushed in a car park by a big GS bike, because the owner of the GS bike did not put his kickstand down correctly and crushed the side of the bike. And it was also a multiple other bikes, but that's the general gist of it. So that was a very short-lived 899, because I only had taken ownership for it for about 3 months. So you can imagine it was quite disheartening to lose one of the pearl whites. So obviously, since I wasn't at fault, my insurance paid me out, and I started cruising around for another one. And lo and behold, I found another 899, pearl white. Already had a few mods on it, a tinted double bubble, a couple other little nicks and knacks, and a lot lower kilometer on the clock. So I decided to pick that up. Then I, by the grace of God, had that bike for about 2 years until I had my motorcycle crash. I was T-boned. Got launched into the passenger window of a car. The car was coming towards me and it cut me off across me. Apparently he didn't see me. A bright pearl white and red Ducati. He didn't see me coming down the road. And for me it was a very split second reaction time. And sadly I did not react in time. So I ended up in a hospital for 2 nights. And a rehabilitation for about 1.5 years. I also had to have surgery on my wrist to fix some nasty stuff that happened with it because of the accident. And that leaves the last 2 years of not really riding too much. But then eventually, once they announced the revitalization of the Street Fighter, I was all buzzing. I was overjoyed. So I went to my local Ducati dealer, since I know the owner, and asked him, hey, hook me up. And yeah, I managed to get the allocation, the 5th place allocation, which then leads me to this beautiful baby on picking it up in 2020. And well, having ownership of it for 2 years, I've done a few little modifications that make the bike a lot prettier, a lot more nicer, and a hell of a lot more powerful. And I'll be going over all the mods in a later video, but this one will be primarily more of an introduction to my channel. Now, the little bit about me. Still at uni, I'm technically a video game designer, and that is something that I'm studying to seek a professional career out of. And, well, obviously that makes sense that I also like video games and art and all that jazzy stuff. But I've always had a passion for motorcycles and vehicles and cars. Love me cars. But yeah, that is a little bit about me. And now a little bit about the channel. I am taking YouTube as a little side project, a little side venture, sharing my passion for motorcycles, my passion for art, my passion for video games. And I would like to invite people to come along for my journey. The journey to explore this beautiful beast and other content. So, in other words, I'll be looking forward to creating some, hopefully, entertaining content, motorcycle content, video game content, art content. But, for the moment, I am focusing on motor vlogging. Because, well, I haven't seen many videos out there about what it's like to own a Ducati Street Fighter, let alone own one for, well, over a year now. So, I would like to invite you all here to tag along, do the usual YouTube jazz of smack the subscribe button, ring the little notification button, and I hope to provide you with some entertaining content. But right now, I have just finished up with the gym, and I'm going to my local electronics store to hopefully, with the Black Friday sales that are on right now, pick up a couple of SD cards for my GoPro. Because the current SD card in my GoPro is always seeming to run out of space because I only have about half an hour's worth of recording at the resolution and frame rate that I have the GoPro set at. And yeah, so hopefully I can pick up a very good bargain or a steal on a larger SD card so that I can record for longer and provide more content rather than worrying about how much I've already recorded on my smaller SD card. Yeah, for the moment it's just a chill ride to the store and a chill ride back home. So yeah, come along for the sights and for the views. And yeah, as you can see, I don't know if you can make out, but on my dash it's currently 36 degrees. A brisk 36 degrees Celsius, and the beautiful western of Australia. So you can imagine this beauty is kind of warming my balls and butt. And sadly, there's not exactly much of a breeze going on, which is unfortunate. I am going to go this way because that looks like a long line, and I really don't want to deal with lines at the moment. Whew, she is getting warm. Should have gone the other way. Christ, that is a lot of people at Mecca D's. I'm going to do the motorcycle thing of lay fuck everybody, they can't do this. Oh. Let's get it. Ding bong, we have arrived. I am gonna go cut the video here, go in, have a little squeeze. Hopefully I can get a good deal on my SD card, a couple of them at least. Anywho, be back in a bit. Obviously that is my beautiful shiny, and she is a gorgeous, and I love it.